Running a Gourmet City in the Apocalypse. Chapter 6. New guests arrive. A new day arrived, and upon waking up fully rested, Jiang Yin saw the group waiting outside and felt a sense of inevitability. "Boss, you're finally up." A Xiong, who had become quite familiar with her, shouted. "I'm starving." As if to prove his point, his stomach rumbled like thunder. She laughed and immediately rolled up her sleeves and put on an apron. "I'll get started right away. By the way, we have braised beef today, 5 crystal cores per serving. Interested?" Before Gu Huiting could speak, A Xiong excitedly slapped the counter. "Yes, yes, yes." Realizing his enthusiasm, he turned and asked pitifully, "Boss, is that okay?" "Fine, get 50 servings." She smiled lightly, clearly seeing Gu Huiting's helplessness. They ordered even more food today, but she remained busy yet organized. First, she bought 50 pounds of beef, processed it, and put it into the marinade to cook. Then she made the batter, heated the griddle, and turned on all the soy milk machines. Soon the hot pancakes were ready, and the 5 eagerly started eating. But it wasn't long before a domineering aroma filled the air, captivating everyone's senses. A Xiong sniffed the air, his face full of delight. "Oh my God, what is that smell? It's so fragrant, I'm going to faint." The others were more reserved but still looked around like hungry wolves, their eyes green with hunger. Soon, their eyes locked onto the pot of braised beef. A Xiong swallowed hard and complained. "Boss, when will the braised beef be ready?" "Not for a while," she laughed, shaking her head. "About 4 more hours." 4 hours might not seem long to these superhumans who could be on a mission for days, but the aroma in the air was like countless little hooks, making them itch all over and making every minute feel like torture. Yesterday they thought the pancakes were the best thing ever. Today the pancakes in their hands didn't seem as appetizing. Among the 5, Gu Huiting was the most composed, but even he couldn't help glancing at the pot several times. After a while the aroma in the air grew stronger and he decisively said, "Let's go for a walk nearby. We still have no leads on that mission." He then told her, "Boss, we'll be back in 4 hours." She understood that the mission was an excuse, mainly to avoid the torment, so she smiled and nodded. Gu Huiting herded everyone away like ducks. After walking a bit, he suddenly said, "The smell is gone." Everyone snapped back to attention. Sun Hao was shocked. "How is that possible?" A Xiong sniffed hard. His sense of smell was particularly strong due to his abilities, and after a moment he concluded, "I can't smell it at all." Gu Huiting chuckled. "It's a magical pancake shop." He glanced back. Through the gaps in the plants he could vaguely see the pancake shop, but it felt like an invisible barrier separated them, giving him the sense that the small shop seemed to exist in another world. But the next second the busy figure of Jiang Yin came into view, making everything feel real again. He calmly said, "Let's go find some clues." The group immediately headed into the forest. A Xiong muttered, "The guys from Chongqing must have taken the mission too. We can't lose to them." "It's strange. It's been half a month and there's no progress on the mission." Sun Hao frowned. "As long as the mission isn't cancelled, there's still a chance," Gu Huiting said calmly. "We'll do our best." A Xiong curiously added, "They said a child went missing. Do they think we're fools? I bet there's something fishy going on." Sun Hao laughed. "Ha! Our A Xiong has a moment of brilliance." The two immediately started bickering. "Enough, this is a sea-level danger zone. Don't be reckless," Gu Huiting warned, scanning the quiet forest with vigilance. Jiang Yin took the now-colored beef out of the marinade pot, letting it cool before marinating it again. All the soy milk was done, and the upgraded machine produced much more soy milk in one go, saving her a lot of work. But she still had dozens of pancakes to make. She scooped up a ladle of batter, ready to pour it onto the griddle when she noticed some figures on the path. Looking closely, she was pleasantly surprised. It was 4 women. Since she didn't dare leave the safe zone, it was her first time seeing people of the same gender. They also noticed the small house that had appeared abruptly in the forest, showing surprise and caution. The 4 seemed to discuss something quietly before slowly approaching. "Hello." Jiang Yin greeted them. "Welcome to Yushanxi Gourmet Pancake Shop. Here are the available items and prices. Do you need something to eat or a place to rest?" While greeting them, she sized them up. The 4 women varied in age, with the oldest looking nearly 50 and the youngest still having baby fat on her cheeks. The other two appeared to be in their 20s. They were all tall and fit, their muscles subtly visible as they moved, perfectly embodying the combination of strength and grace. Compared to her borrowed frail body, she was extremely envious. The three young women were naturally tempted but remained cautious. Only the older woman, seeing the finished products on the counter, had tears welling up in her eyes. Sister Zheng. The other three were shocked and quickly gathered around to show concern, clearly having a close relationship. Zheng Huiwan wiped her eyes and forced back her tears, barely managing a smile to reassure her companions. "I'm fine, just reminded of some past memories." She slowly walked up, studying Jiang Yin, and after a moment said, "Before the apocalypse, I also had a pancake stall. I started selling at around 5 in the morning, and many regulars said they couldn't start their day without my pancakes. So it was nostalgia." Jiang Yin understood. The young ones might have been born after the apocalypse and didn't have such feelings, but those who had lived through peaceful times would often dream of those happy days. Feeling a pang of sympathy, she handed over a bacon beef pancake. "Sister, try my cooking." Zheng Huiwan knew she should be wary of a shop that mysteriously appeared in a sea-level danger zone. But the memories overwhelmed her, and the familiar aroma filled her nose, making it impossible to control her emotions. So she took the paper bag. The pancake, which had been sitting for a while, was at the perfect temperature. Feeling the warmth through the bag, she instinctively brought it to her mouth. "Sister Zheng." A girl quickly stopped her. "You can't just eat it." The three young women had been tempted by the aroma, but seeing the most experienced among them fall for it, they instantly raised the danger level of the pancake shop and looked at Jiang Yin with hostility. Understanding their caution, Jiang Yin thought for a moment and said, "Break the pancake and give me a piece. I'll eat it first to show you it's safe. Tear the bag too." "Okay." Chapter 7. You'll have to ask the boss. Smart people understood what this meant. Before Zheng Huiwan could act, one of the young girls immediately tore off a large piece of the pancake and handed it back. Without hesitation, Jiang Yin took a bite. The slightly fried bacon had an excellent texture. She had been so busy that she had only had a cup of soy milk. After eating half a pancake, she felt even hungrier and grabbed another bacon and egg pancake to eat. Although the three young girls were still cautious, they couldn't help but swallow their saliva as they watched her devour the food. Zheng Huiwan scrutinized her for a few moments before finally taking a bite of the food in her hand. This time no one stopped her and everyone watched eagerly. Zheng Huiwan chewed a couple of times, her eyes lighting up. "Delicious." She finished half the pancake in a few bites and immediately said, "Boss, can I have some more?" Jiang Yin tapped the counter, drawing their attention to the price list. Zheng Huiwan consulted with her companions for a moment and then began to order. 8 pancakes, 3 beef and 3 bacon, 2 egg, 3 cups of red date and peanut soy milk. How much braised beef is in one serving? Clearly, she had lived in peacetime. Her ordering was much more proficient. However, "Sorry, the braised beef is sold out for today. But there's some left," Zheng Huiwan said, slightly dissatisfied. "Those are reserved by other customers." She pointed to the finished products on the counter. "All of these." Seeing that she wasn't lying, Zheng Huiwan reluctantly gave up. "Then no braised beef." "All right, that's 34 level 1 crystal cores." Zheng Huiwan quickly paid, finished the food in her hand in a few bites, and resumed her busy work. Before long, the 4 women were happily devouring their pancakes. Jiang Yin noticed that Zheng Huiwan herself took 2 egg pancakes, and the soy milk she ordered was for her 3 companions, while she drank water from a bottle. The youngest girl carefully sipped the red date and peanut soy milk, her eyes turning into crescents with joy. "It's sweet." She looked like she had discovered a new continent, taking another reverent sip before placing the soy milk and an untouched pancake together. Zheng Huiwan asked, "Why aren't you eating?" As superhumans, their appetites were much larger than ordinary women. 2 pancakes and a cup of soy milk would only make them about 60 to 70% full. She planned to order more based on the situation. The youngest girl solemnly said, "These are too delicious. I want to take them back for my mom." Her teammates' expressions softened, and Zheng Huiwan patted her head, whispering, "Eat up. We'll buy more to take back later." "Really?" "Yes, these things aren't expensive." We can afford them. Great. The girl cheered and finally picked up her portion to eat. Zheng Huiwan turned to look at Jiang Yin. Having overheard the conversation, Jiang Yin's eyes softened. She glanced at her crystal core savings and made a decision. Boss, we'd like to order a batch of food to pick up later. Is that possible? Of course. Then 50 pancakes, she calculated. 10 each of beef and bacon and the rest egg pancakes. 30 cups of soy milk, 10 of which are red date and peanut. She obviously had done the math and took out 2 level 2 crystal cores, receiving 20 level 1 crystal cores in change. Jiang Yin noticed a flash of pain on her face and her teammates said, "Why not buy less? We've all eaten, we don't need to divide it." But Zheng Huiwan shook her head. "We'll eat together in the evening. If we just watch, they won't eat either." Hearing this, the others remained silent. Zheng Huiwan instructed, "Boss, add more vegetables and pick the largest eggs." "Okay, no problem." Jiang Yin nodded repeatedly. "Xiao Na will stay here. We're going to hunt mutant beasts," Zheng Huiwan arranged. Xiao Na, the youngest girl, repeatedly told them to stay safe and reluctantly saw her teammates off. Jiang Yin knew that leaving someone behind was essentially to monitor her. However, it was their first big transaction, so mistrust was normal. She didn't mind and continued her work skillfully. At first, Hina watched her warily, afraid she might cheat or tamper with the food. But gradually, she was captivated by Jiang Yin's rhythmic and pleasing movements. Soon, all the pancakes were ready, and the beef was remarinated. Stretching her sore arms, Jiang Yin looked up at the sky. It was getting dark, but the guests hadn't returned. Hina paced back and forth, frequently peering into the forest, clearly anxious. Affected by her emotions, Jiang Yin also began to worry, realizing the potential dangers of entering a hazard zone. Suddenly, Hina jumped up and ran toward the forest, almost leaving the safe zone. Jiang Yin quickly shouted, "Where are you going?" Before she could finish, a group of people burst out of the forest. It was Gu Huiting's team and Zheng Huijuan's group. "Xiao Na, run!" Zheng Huijuan grabbed Hina's arm, only managing to shout a warning. Before she could finish, a deafening roar echoed, and a striped tiger leaped from the forest, its left front paw stepping on a not-so-tall tree, which snapped with a crack. Jiang Yin's ears buzzed, recalling the tiger she had seen when she first arrived. She wondered if it was the same one. Gu Huiting slowed down as he reached the clearing, but Zheng Huiwan continued to lead her teammates in a desperate run, only shouting, "Captain Gu, mutant tigers don't give up easily, run." As she spoke, she regretfully glanced at the pile of pancakes on the counter, knowing that escaping was more important. "Wait, look." Gu Huiting's expression suddenly relaxed. Although Zheng Huiwan thought it was suicidal to be distracted now, Gu Huiting's reputation gave him some inherent trustworthiness. She couldn't help but look back. Less than 5 meters away, the giant striped tiger, as large as several elephants combined, showed a human-like expression of confusion. Its massive head swayed back and forth, clearly searching for something. But it found nothing. The mutant tiger couldn't understand why its prey suddenly vanished and angrily vented its frustration, knocking down the surrounding trees. Unexpectedly, a harmless-looking tree concealed a mutant vine. The tiger and the vine immediately started fighting. The group of superhumans watched as the mutant tiger and the mutant vine tore at each other, eventually shredding the vine into pieces before the tiger leaped back into the forest. What's going on? Zheng Huiwan and her teammates looked at Gu Huiting, clearly thinking he had orchestrated this. However, Gu Huiting looked at the pancake shop and chuckled, "You'll have to ask the boss." Like searchlights, all eyes turned to Jiang Yin, who awkwardly scratched her temple. Welcome to subscribe to my channel. Hit the little bell and follow.